Feels dumb. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Jay's here again with another coffee Q&A almost every weekday morning at 10 a.m. How y'all doing? Welcome back to the show. And today we're talking about this thing called the 2GoCup. And this is something that I was gifted when I was in Dublin, Ireland over a year ago, overseeing the Irish Latte Art Championship. And one of the guys gave this to me and they were like, hey, give this a try and see what you think about it. And what this is a to-go cup that is being promoted by a company in Ireland. It's been out, I think, since 2018. So I'm thinking that it did fairly well. So evidently the statistics are that in Ireland, there's over 200 million single-use paper cups that are used every year. And of course, all of that eventually ends up in a landfill because these these wax-lined paper cups you can't recycle them. I don't really understand why that is or why we haven't found processes to recycle this wax-lined paper cups. Or perhaps we should find something better, but maybe this is the better thing, right? So the idea behind this is that businesses will buy these cups and then serve them to their guests. Now, if you're a customer, you come in and you get a cup, you pay a €2 deposit on the cup. Now, this €2 deposit, of course, can be, refunded to you whenever you return the cup. So you can use the cup, give it back to the business to get your €2 back, or you can take it with you and use it and do whatever you want to do with it. And then you can return it to any business that has it, much like a glass deposit bottles used to be. And that business will give you your €2 back. So I thought, well, let's try it out and see just how well it works. Mom, good to see you, man. Welcome to the show. How's things in Westchester? Huh? And so I thought we'd give a good look at it and give it a try and just see how it performs. It's really a single wall plastic construction here. So we look at it, it's just got these ribbings. I guess the ribbings help to reduce the amount of material, but also give some strength to it. At the bottom, it is a recyclable thing, and you can see here designed in Ireland. And it should fit into typical car cup holders. Craig, good morning, bald head. How are you doing today? And it's got their little logo, 2GoCup, deposit, enjoy, and return. And then it has the typical style of, sippy cup lid here. So nice little hole there, typical you'd find in any disposable. But this one has, of course, it's all plastic. And it has a double-lined or double-ribbed silicone gasket that runs all the way around. There is a what we call a replacement hole here. I don't know the technical term, but this is the hole that you need in all cups in order to replace with air volume the liquid volume that you're displacing by using the sippy cup. And then the inside, again, same kind of thing. On the inside of the cup itself, smooth. And this one, I believe, is a 12-ounce or 350 milliliter cup here. It does have a little logo that says building a better tomorrow. So kind of nice. So we're going to give it a try. I've never used this one, actually. It's just been sitting around the roastery for over a year now. And all right, let's get it to brew. It's fairly simple. They will stack, so businesses can keep them stacked. And then just pull them just like a paper cup would be. So it seems fairly easy to use. So what we're going to do is we're going to brew some coffee. And some of you guys were here with us on the Coffee and Cigars live stream last night, and I was brewing yesterday's Sitio Bella. I don't know. I keep saying Sitio Bellis from Out of Office Coffee. This is the coffee we had yesterday, and when I brewed it yesterday, it just wasn't so great. It just wasn't as good as I was expecting it to be. It had some brightness, but last night's brew definitely had better citrusy notes, really much better clarity. I think part of that is because of the grind, part of the way that we brewed, but also I think a big part of that was the water. So here at the house, I've got this. We use well water, and the well is pretty darn hard. Like we run it through a filtration system that's pretty heavy duty. Now, I don't use reverse osmosis here because I just don't use it. I don't think we need that. I'm not trying to strip it completely and then replace it. Plus, reverse osmosis just wastes so much water, right? Like I think I can't remember the exact stats, but I think for let's say out of 100 gallons, for every 15 gallons, you're burning like 85 gallons or something like that. It's a really significant amount of water, that bypass water, that you're losing. So we're going to do this coffee again because last night's flavor really was kind of promising. So let's get the scale back out. We're going to get our scale, open our bag. We'll just do a real quick brew with this. Full immersion again. 24 grams to make a 12-ounce cup as always. There we go. So how's everyone doing today? Anything interesting happening? Craig says that for what it's worth, the issue with paper cups is some are lined with plastic, not wax. Oh, okay. See how poorly waxed paper straws work. It is unrealistic to expect a recycling company to sort between the two types of cup. Oh, okay. I just wish we would find a better way to process these. And I get it, because there's, unlike aluminum can recycling, there's really no money in paper recycling. So until we get to the point we can actually find a way to make it monetizable and profitable for businesses, the real impetus of especially in a capitalistic society like the United States, trying to get people to do things for the sheer altruisticness of it is very difficult. All right, let's get a little bit here. We're going to do a little bit. Well, I'm going to keep the same line as we did yesterday. Right? Overhead view for you. Again, we're using the Barazza Virtuoso with the Isato scale. I'm not using the Isato feature for this since I'm pre-weighing the coffee. And all of the issues of this past week notwithstanding, I must say I really have enjoyed having the Isato. It's a little bit cantankerous that it's really big, but overall the Isato has worked pretty darn well. So I've been very pleased with it overall. All right, let's put that there. Now we've got our coffee. We're going to use the Bonavita once again. Let me just jack up the heat. Make sure that it's nice and hot. I'm using a butane burner, so gas flame for it, and it does heat up fast. I think it heats up faster. Well, I'm not using the same quantities, but I feel like it heats faster than the induction, right? So let's get the coffee in here. 24 grams. A lot of chaffee today. All right. We're going to get our timer. Eduardo, how are you, man? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Good morning. And we're going to add the water now. All right, let's add the water and start our timer. I always got to check the valve here, right? There's a valve on the front, right? This valve here. I have to make sure that it's closed, because sometimes I have done quite a number of times where I've forgotten to check that and I had left it open. Coffee goes everywhere. All right, we're about 30 seconds into our brew. This one I can just pretty much filter about there. That's 12 ounces or so. So it's fairly simple to brew with this brewer, as long as your filter is big enough. Like I said yesterday, when I'm in the kitchen, I keep a bunch of these old, I've had them since the 90s. I never really used them, but they're these eco-friendly number 2 Melita filters. They're brown, so I have to rinse them pretty heavily before I use them. But, they don't, of course, they're about half the size of this. So I have to just put the filter in, put the coffee, fill the water level up to where the filter will hold it, and then I'll just brew it that way and then add water after the fact, it's always been fine because you're still getting the same extraction time, the same extraction amount. least that's the theory. I haven't actually taken the time to test it. Take what is it, the TDS meters and try it. I'm not going to do that. It's really for me so I can have concha in the afternoon, and I'm just not that motivated to worry about it. Sometimes you get to a point where you're just kind of like, I'm going to enjoy coffee. I'm not going to evaluate my coffee. I don't need to do lab standardization on every cup that I brew. How are we doing here? We're almost 2 minutes. So if you're just joining us, we're going to be trying out this 2GoCup from Ireland. It's a company called 2Go. They've got some links down below to their website as well as their Instagram page and a couple videos on YouTube that kind of talk about the processes and how it works. And one with videos about this guy in County Louth, I think, where he's talking about how his experience as a business owner using these has worked. Now, I don't think these kind of things will replace paper cups. Like, I just don't. Maybe Ireland's different, but at least in the United States, I just don't see us replacing paper cups because we're just not that kind of society. Like it said in Ireland, they said that there's 70% of the population will use recyclable or reusable cups of some sort, maybe thermal cups or maybe something like this. But out of that 70%, only 15% of those actually use them because you know what? Are you going to, and I get it, like, are you always going to carry them with you? Only recently have I tried to start carrying these Nalgene's full of water whenever I go out of the house. But that's only recently. I mean, I'm how old now? Old habits die hard. So we're just going to go straight. We're at 3 minutes now, right? So 3 minutes. So that's good enough time. I'm going to put it straight onto the cup. I'm going to open the valve. And then let's have a look at the fall. This is probably the most exciting part of brewing coffee. It's like falling. You're like, whoa. I think the true nerdiness in us is like, oh, this is awesome. Right? You're just going to sit there like, whoa, that's cool, right? You're just like, whoa. All right, so it's falling pretty fast. Whoops, let's go with this one. It's falling pretty fast, which is good, I guess. 3:45, 3:47. Yeah, so that's pretty good. We want it to be, of course, 3:30 to 4 minutes. And we're pretty much done now. 3:55. Close that valve. Whoa. Almost lost control of it. Then we'll get rid of that. So here it is. The 2GoCup looks like black coffee in a gray cup. All right, let's have a taste. Gosh, I don't know if that's better than yesterday or equivalent to yesterday. I'm using bottled water that I've been using since we started doing the live streams again, and the bottled water that I've been using is the same one I've been using when I'm brewing my coffee here at the house. But it doesn't have the same expressiveness that this coffee had last night. And I use the same grinder, same amount, same scale. I use the Avid Clever instead of the Bonavitas. So theoretically, it's the same style of brewing. I washed the 2GoCup before I used it today. So I gave it a nice scrubbing with but it has this kind of flat character, especially when I think about last night's brew, where it's kind of bright and citrusy. It's just kind of flat. I don't know. All right, let's put the lid on. Like I said, there's a two-layer silicone gasket here. And I don't know about you guys, but like, so there's a logo here, right? It's actually on both sides. This is the level of my kind of psychosis as a coffee operator, is that when we put, like, we're using mainly, of course, single-use paper cups, probably plastic lined, with sleeves. And I want the sleeves, the seam of the sleeve, and so, the sleeves have one side that has the main face that's smooth, and then the back has the overlap where it's sealed. The cups also have the same thing. It's sealed on one side. My psychosis is such that we train our baristas to take the seams and match the seams on the cup and the sleeve together. And the sleeves typically will be printed with our logo. And we want the spout to be with the logo as like this, right? We want it to be that way. And also we want it to be opposing to the seams. And why is that? Because I've always been concerned about the seams leaking, right? So if you had the seam on the back here and you put it right where this is, the customer's always going to be tilting the cup on the seam. Now, the number of seams that will fail in a 1,000 count box of paper cups is probably less than one. But we want to watch out for the less than one, because you know what? Let's say in 10,000 cups, maybe one does leak, maybe two leaks. By us doing this kind and this level of detail, even if 100 of them leaked, we won't have to worry about it, because we've taken I believe that we've taken the necessary steps to mitigate that problem. And, I think some of my staff does think I'm a little bit crazy, or has thought I'm a little bit crazy, because I'm really adamant about that. All right, so we're going to try the spout here. The spout, of course, like I said earlier, has a nice, typical, it should be fairly comfortable. So Baldhead says that you had higher brew temperatures. I did not warm up the Bonavita. I was pretty hot on the water because it was straight off the boil, but certainly could have a very big impact on it, because the Bonavita, of course, is ceramic, so it's going to cool down things a lot faster than the thinner plastic of the of the Abbott cover. Okay, something that I'm holding this cup. I've been holding it since I've been brewing it, and I just realized now that it is a fairly thin-walled cup, right? Like, this is dangerous probably. Anyway, if we look at this, it's fairly thin-walled. Not maybe as thin as a paper cup, but one of the things that I'm noticing is that it's starting to get a little bit warm now, right? So one of the things about it is that we've got these ribbings here, and these ribbings, I'm now seeing that they feel like they are kind of isolating your finger pads away from the interior wall that would be hotter. So in some ways, I think that's kind of like a sleeve, right? So it's warm. It's decidedly warm, but it's not hot that I can't hold it, or I feel like I'm burning my fingers. Okay, so compared to like a regular standard black lid, this is thicker. This is thicker here, right? So it's not as I like thinner rims to put my lips on, and this is a little bit on the thick side, so it feels a little bit weird. Feels a little uncomfortable. Yeah, the flavor is definitely. Maybe you're right there, Greg. I'm gonna have to try that. Maybe when I do my contra brew for this afternoon, maybe I'll use the Bonavita and then do a very solid preheat on it to see is that really making an impact on the flavor of the coffee? Because we did the same thing yesterday with the Bonavita. It didn't really heat it up, so that's something to consider. There's a little bit of the orangey, citrusy coming through now that it's cooled down slightly. And I don't know if you can hear this, but there's something that I've just noticed that's quite interesting, at least interesting, that could be annoying for some. Okay, I'm going to take the microphone, and I'm going to, remember, this is where we drink, and this is the displacement, right? Or the replacement hole. I'm noticing a little bit of a noise coming from that. And I'm going to see if you can hear. I don't know if you can hear, but let's try it. I'm going to try it. I don't know if you can hear that. There is a light whistling that is coming, but it's not when I'm drinking necessarily. It's really when I'm just kind of, You know how when you put your lips to the lid or to the spout and you start to suck a little bit, and so you're already sucking in anticipation of the liquid hitting you to bring it onto your palate, into your mouth. It's that moment right before the liquid hits the spout that you're pulling on just the air, that you hear the airflow through the little tiny hole here. It's just a little whistling. It's kind of, oh, you can hear it. Okay, great. Thank you, Mom. So, the thing is that especially if you're in a country like Dublin's not always very hot. They're at a higher latitude than we are here in Maryland. I think they're probably closer to your latitude, right, Craig? I imagine I've only been there. I've been to Dublin twice. Once in, I think, June or May, and then, no, maybe April, and then once in February. So while it was overall mild, like not cold, like as cold as here, it's still pretty chilly. And I'm presuming that it's rather chilly a lot of the year. So I think that with a to-go cup, you'd want to have some good level of insulation to, keep your drink as warm as possible for as long as possible. I'm guessing this will work pretty well. Now, this is actually a company that has a concerted effort in the country to do recycling. It's not like in America. I don't think in America we have any companies that are doing something like this. We have a lot of companies that make reusable cups of some form, but not in a deposit and return kind of model, which I think is kind of interesting. If you can get enough companies to participate, enough coffee shops or whatever, then I think there could be something to go with it. And you could use this sippy cup to like drink soda. Actually, when I was young, like when I was a child, like a young child, like let's say 3 to 5, I do remember they would I had a sippy cup, one of the ones that had the really strong spout with the 3 holes in it. And they would put Coca-Cola with ice in it every once in a while. And I loved that. I was like, ooh, to me, there was no better drink than Coca-Cola, ice cold Coca-Cola in a sippy cup. Oh, Keone Nunes, aloha from Thailand. Aloha, Keone. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you. How are things in Thailand? It's what? It's getting kind of late there in Thailand. What part of Thailand are you calling from? Bangkok or somewhere else? I was just there it's 9 months ago, probably now. Yeah, it's got to be a while. And here, Craig says that Ireland is milder due to the ocean Gulf Stream. Oh, okay. I do like it. Interestingly, as the first trip I made to there was, I think, in 2016. I went to Dublin. I've only been to Dublin, and I went there for the World Barista Championship as one of the judges. And I think I spent 6 days there, and I really enjoyed it. Like I really enjoyed Dublin. I thought that Dublin, as I was walking around one night or one evening, I realized that Dublin has a feeling that's very similar to Baltimore. Like I was like, this feels like Baltimore. That's why to me it feels very comfortable. The people are pretty friendly. It's a pretty laid-back city in many respects. I dig the Leo Burdock's fish and chips, and I do think I like it better than Bischoff Brothers. Yeah. I hope that's not going to start a fight. I think it would be there. Keone is watching from Bangkok, originally from Hawaii. Well, with a name like Keone Nunes, I totally fit. Speaking of which, Keone, did you hear about Emmy Tamimbong? She passed away. They had like an emergency heart surgery on her I think at Queens, and yeah, she died on the table. I just was watching this on the news on the YouTube news just yesterday, and I was like, oh man, such a sad. I remember Emmy from like when I lived in Honolulu way back in the 90s. So, and they had a story where she was telling them how she met when she first met Obama as president. They said that she went up to Barack Obama and she was like, "Oh, Mr. President, I know you don't know me, but I'm," and he was like, "No, Emmy, I totally know you. I grew up watching you." I was like, "Yeah, Emmy to me." So Yeah, that was sad. Yeah, sad. Totally sad. Totally sad. Now, those of you who may not be familiar, Emmy was a newscaster in Honolulu, and I moved to Honolulu in 1988, and she was already well known there. So she had been a media icon in Hawaii for well over 40 years, and she started really young when she was like 17, and I think she was 70 something now. So really a sad day in Hawaii media for that. She was really fantastic. I never got to meet her, but you lived in Hawaii throughout these years. Emmy Timimbong, very well known, very well known. Yeah, Thailand. I do like Thailand. I was I don't know if you've seen some of the videos on the main channel or on this is the main channel. I don't know why I'm saying that, but some of the videos I've been visiting some of the actually that the Bangkok series is over because I've shown everything I could. I did go to this one place called Fab Academy. It's a coffee school, really nice. But I shot there. One of my friends was a student there. And then I got to meet the owner. I did a whole long video there. There's enough material there for quite a long video. And after my visit, the owner asked me not to release the video. I don't know. She wants to remain more anonymous. So I was like, all right, no problem. I don't have to release that. But oh yeah, really, the first Filipino? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. What a shame. What a shame. Anyway, so there's a lot of great. So since you're there, Kilme, you must try pad kaprao. I had a recent interesting experience. I was at a local Thai restaurant here. The guy was Thai, and I ordered pad kaprao, beef kaprao, and I was like, "Can I get the kaprao, please?" And he brings it out, and it's interesting because when you go to a lot of places, like there's a place that we go to in Honolulu called what's it called? Thai Boat Noodle. Is that right? Thai Boat Noodle right on Keomoku Street, where the old Daruma ramen shop used to be in Samsung Plaza. Um, in all my experience, whether in Thailand, in LA, in Honolulu, wherever I've gone and had kaprao, it always comes with a fried egg. And I don't even have to ask for it, right? It just comes with it. Like I'm not savvy enough about kaprao to ask for it necessarily, but I was doing this video about Mark Wiens' Pedmak on Sukhumvit 32, I think it is. And so I went to this Thai restaurant because I was just hungry. I was like, I'm going to get some to eat. I'm get some kaprao. So I went to this Thai restaurant that I've liked in the past. I thought they're very good. I asked, I said, can I get the beef kaprao? And he brings out the kaprao a few minutes later. And the kaprao with beef is on a plate with the vegetable. The rice is in a bowl to the side. And that was it. And I was like, is there no egg? He's like, oh, kaprao doesn't come with egg. And I was like, really? Oh, okay. He said, well, that'd be extra, $2. Oh, fine. Okay, would you make me the egg? So he goes back to the kitchen, gets me an egg. And he comes back and the egg is fried, a little bit brown on the sides, but it's not crispy. Like, when you do the hard fry on the eggs, it's all crispy. And then typically you're going to have a really runny yolk. Well, this yolk was fully cooked through. I mean, it was like fully cooked. And I was like, I was like, I have to challenge him. I was like, does it not come with? And then he goes in this whole thing about how kaprao is not, even in Thailand, the kaprao does not come with egg. You have to ask for it specifically. And I was like, I just never experienced that. And I was just so kind of like, and he was so adamant about how it was like that. And I was like, I've been to places in Thailand. I went to a lot of Pangloi and had it. And I've never had this experience. So I don't know. It was kind of funny. But last time I was there, I went to a place called Rongsi Pachana over by that Kempinski Hotel. Really nice. It's more Thai Chinese, but that was delicious. Yeah, see, most places will serve with eggs. It was very strange. I was like, and he was like totally like, it's one thing, and I was kind of upset because I was kind of irritated because I'm like, what? It's fine. I get it. If you're the kind of restaurant here in America, here in suburban Baltimore, and you're making kaprao, and it wasn't very heavy on the fish sauce too. I was a little bit. It's more sweet and more soy sauce based. But I was like, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind paying extra to get it, but at least give me the egg that's runny. And when I pointed out that it wasn't runny, he totally could care less. I was like, this guy could care less. And what happened? Oh, so I was just like, if I get it, you're serving a suburban American clientele that may not be really knowledgeable about Thai food. You're probably trying to tailor it so that it's more like Chinese food, and you're trying to do, like, you don't want it to be, the fish sauce. You're reducing the fish sauce so it's not so like weird, I guess. So you're not going to put the fried egg. Just be upfront about that. Be like, this is what we do, and we do it this way. And I was like, I'd be fine with that. But to try to tell me that the entirety of Thailand doesn't, you do it, and that it's a special order, I'm just like, oh God, now I'm like irritated. It's like yesterday. It was yesterday. Could have been yesterday. Wednesday. It could have been Tuesday. I can't remember. I was delivering some coffee to one of my clients, and they're out a little bit farther, closer to Washington D.C. And after I dropped off, I was like, oh, I feel like in the mood for Thai food. Like lately, I've just on this Thai kick, right? So I was like, and I really like to get som tam. And for those of you who might not be familiar, som tam is this green papaya salad that has some tomatoes, some green beans, some shredded carrot, shredded green papaya as well. It's mixed with peanuts and I think lime, cilantro, and of course the fish sauce, right? And it's kind of a little bit pungent, a little bit spicy, but I really love it, right? And so I go there, and the girl brings me like, there's a spoon, there's a fork. And then she brings me a chop. There's a fork and a spoon, I think, right? And then she brings me a chopstick, and I looked at her. I was like, what is that for? She's like, oh, I thought you might want chopsticks. I said, we don't eat with chopsticks. And, I was just joking with her, but she laughed about it because I was like, come on now. I'm not a tourist. But if you're not familiar with Thai, people do not really eat with chopsticks. There's certain situations where they will, like with certain dishes. But for the most part, in Thailand, Thai people eat like Filipinos, fork and spoon, which allows, I think, a lot more of a shoveling effect so that you can go through your rice and everything a lot faster, right? If you're eating with chopsticks, you got a rice bowl, you got to kind of, you can do the shoveling thing, right? But like, I think fork and spoon just allows you to just get more mass quantity going, right? And sometimes I don't want mass quantity. Oh, Craig, have a good one. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good to see you. All right, Keone, I'm going to take you up that. Next time you're here, I can take you some really good places to eat, including Kaprao. Excellent. I'm very happy to try that. All right, so this is not too bad. The cup itself is not too bad. I like the idea. Here in America, we should import something like this where, we do some kind of thing where we can really encourage people to use more recyclable cups. And if we can get more companies to implement that and accept returns, clean them. So what happens is they accept returns. Let's say you buy this at one coffee shop, you use it for whatever, and you go to another coffee shop and you return it. You can return that coffee shop will then clean it, wash it, and then put it back into the recycling stream, or put it back into the service stream, not recycling stream. So, if we can get people to do that, that could go to help reduce the amount of paper waste. All right, so it's the coffee. I'm going to have to brew more with this. This is the Philippine Sitio Bellis. Bellis? Yeah, Bellis. Sitio Bellis. I keep on different live streams. I keep putting the wrong name. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think we're going to have to brew a little bit more with this, at least for myself, and see what's going to happen. But all right, that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in from Westchester and Ottawa and Bangkok. Oh, we're quite international today. And those of you who are watching on the replay, thanks for watching as well. And leave your comments in the comments down below, or questions, or any kind of suggestions you might have for future videos or things to do in the live stream. We'll incorporate those. I'm always open to trying things. Eduardo says that Husky cups are return cups. I believe they're in the U.S. I mean, they're in Mexico. This thing has always got it. There's a heart in my way. You know that heart at the bottom of like the right side of the bottom of the chat window? It always covers. Oh, yeah. They're in Mexico. Oh, okay. Oh, good. Eduardo, you're what part of Mexico? Or Mexico, should I say, not Mexico. Well, let me know. All right. Mom, good to see you. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful day to you. Oh, Mexico City. Oh man, I love it there. My favorite place, Mexico City, El Vilcito on Universidad. Man, there is there is never a trip to Mexico City that I will make that I will not make every effort to go have tacos al pastor there. Actually, I was just thinking about that yesterday. Last night, I was thinking, man, I would like to just go and get taco. Oh, it's near your house. Oh, excellent, excellent. All right, we'll have to be in touch if I make it down to Mexico City. Yeah, it's been a while. All right. Anyway, time to roll. Hope you have a great weekend. I got to go run to the county offices here to renew licensing and get some permits. So we got a lot to do. Aloha to you, Keone. Thank you for tuning in. And all right, back again on Monday, 10 a.m. I don't know what we're going to do next week, but I'll figure that out soon. All right. And until then, see you next time.